This is Akashvani Kohima bringing to you a series of episodes titled In Focus, a live interactive program on a Drug Free Nagaland, an initiative of the Regional News Unit Akashvani Kohima in collaboration with the Nagaland Police Department, broadcasted live every Monday at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. It is a bilingual program. Yes, listeners, apnian bi itu program la part hole parwo, apnian la messages kan, apnian feedbacks, queries, questions kan thagyahan maande pathai dibole parawo through SMS. Number to ase 9436805333 और लिखा टाइम दे FM लिख दिया होगी दूसरे स्पेस दिना F लिख दिना अपने आला messages खान लिखना पठाई दिया होले पारवो and also अपने आलमान दे call भी करो होले पारवो number दो ऐसे 037022433036 and you can directly talk to the experts here in the studio. So we are also live on the Akashvani FM channel 103 megahertz to be live as and also on la YouTube channel Akashvani Kohima program that we do program do live stream kuri dia ase dia and also apne news on air la app be install korna tate prabi mande huni wole pare hobo. So stay tuned with us. Good afternoon, listeners. I'm your host, Kenny, here with the 7th episode in this exclusive series, In Focus. And today we are going to talk about education in relation to drug medication. As we all know that effective drug education is important because young people are faced with many influences to use both licit as well as illicit drugs. So education can play a counterbalancing role in shaping a normative culture of safety, moderation, and informed decision making. So dear listeners, this afternoon we are going to have a great discussion on education in relation to drug medication. So to talk about this groundbreaking topic, we have with us a very knowledgeable expert panels. We are joined by Mr. Thavaseelan K, Principal Director, School Education Department. Hello, sir. Welcome to the studio. We are also joined by Dr. L. Nongothung Yanthan, Deputy Superintendent of Police. Welcome to the studio, sir. And we are also joined by Miss Hikali Achumi, who is the Miss Nagaland 2022. Hello and welcome to the studio, Hikali. Well, right, my dear listeners, it is time to start the discussion. And like said, you can join us through the SMS gateway as well as through the phone-in line. So stay tuned with us and we'll be looking forward to hearing your queries as well as your feedbacks right there. And now to start off with, I want to start with Mr. Thavaseelan. So first up, I want to ask you that in Nagaland, how is the different drug users categorized in terms of age group?
So we don't have a formal categorization per se. So we can look at it as kids who are in school, kids who are out of school, kids who are in college, and those who are outside these three classifications. So I think so. That's how we technically looking at it. There's no formal classification per se.
Do you want to add anything on Dr. Yanthan?
Okay, so according to this social welfare department, there are approximately 30,000 drug users in Nagaland. And regarding the age group, it is not very clear because of the stigma attached to it. So we can't say, I don't have this exact classification of these age groups.
All right, so as we all know that Social Welfare Department is the nodal department of Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan. So do you think that the department made any survey on it?
No, as Mr. Dr. Nongothung had said, I mean, since there's a lot of stigma attached with it, a lot of parents, a lot of users don't come forward, and extremely difficult to pinpoint the exact number of users that we have, even if a survey was to be done. So we do have some information, based on the work that, so Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, so different districts where it's being carried out. You have these agencies which work on rehabilitation of those who are drug users. So they do have some information, some statistics on the number of users, but then there's no formal survey that's being done, and even if it were to be carried out, the difficulty that's going to be faced is the fact that people don't come forward and share this information.
Mr. Yanthan, if you would like to add anything on what Mr. Thavaseelan has said.
I think the social welfare department has not made any survey regarding this one, but I think the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India, they had done some survey back in 2-3 years back, and they have reported that 4.5 to 5% of the population has reported that they are users of some drugs or something like that. They have reported.
Right. So, has there been any awareness seminars or conference being conducted by the school education department on drug abuse in the educational institution in Nagaland?
Yeah, we've been undertaking that as a department. So we have a lot of these partner agencies. Kripa Foundation, for example, is one, and the whole host of other agencies which work in the space, with whom we conduct awareness programs from time to time. But then also at the school level, school heads on their own initiatives, keep sensitizing kids about the harmful effects of drug use, and they've been collaborating with these agencies also to conduct activities at the school level, awareness programs. Yes.
Right. Mr. Yanthan, have the police department conducted any program in collaboration with the school education department on drug abuse? And if yes, then how many have been conducted? And if not, then why not?
Okay, so on 26 June every year, it is a day against drug abuse and illicit trafficking by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. So on that day, police department conducts essay competition, drawing competition, and debate competition on drug abuse. And so the various units of the police department, they collaborate with the school education department, and they conduct this awareness program. And regarding other programs, I think the center has directed all the states to form this anti-narcotic task force headed by the DGP regarding this one. And Nagaland Police has particularly initiated one app called MAD, Made in Nagaland. It's movement against drug abuse and extortion in Nagaland. So this app is available on Twitter and Facebook. There, citizens can make anonymous complaints about drug use and drug peddlers. So this is the initiative of the government of Nagaland, particularly the police department.
Right, that's such a great initiative. And now coming to Miss Hikali, I have read some news, I have seen some news, I would say, that you were part of anti-drug campaigns, awareness and all that. So I would like to know, what was the impact of such awareness program being conducted? How impactful was it?
As Miss Nagaland 2022, I did my final project on this topic, anti-drug. So we went to different places. We conducted this awareness on 6 different places, 5 districts in Nagaland here, and another one, a special edition of this anti-drug in collaboration with Miss Assam, in collaboration with Miss Assam in Jorhat as well. So I would say if there has to be an awareness program campaign, this be it, I would say, because it has been so much impactful to the students, getting to know the knowledge of what this actually drug is about and how it affects us during even after a single consumption. I believe after such awareness, they have finally understood that it's not just cool, it's not cool to try it in the first place. Of all the places that I've been talking about how manipulative the social media can be, or the music, the movies or videos can be. It's not just cool or glamorous about this drug thing, but there is so much more to know in reality if it has been said. For example, getting into depression or anxiety or stress for lifelong. So.
Right, and can you also, tell us a little bit about the works that you do to promote drug education?
Okay, so for me, social media platform has been my primary role. I have been giving information to certain people that I'm coming at their hometown through social media. So while giving all this, conducting all these programs to the students, in education level, you're talking about education system, right?
Yes.
Okay, education system. Well, me as high school students, while being a high school student, we all know about the moral science subjects that we used to have in a very thin textbook. So just like that, after matriculation, also I did my diploma and degree. So there have been some few subjects about this ethic and values as well. So I believe that there used to be some certain in some institutions, some full. Okay, so our independence and ability to make informed decisions can shield us from this pressure, such as peer pressure. So I believe this ethical education foster values such as honesty, empathy, and compassion are very necessary for professional growth as well as social cohesiveness. Because self-esteem is very important. We need to be strong in our decisions as well. So when we talk about this education system, I believe subjects such as moral values and human ethics is very important. We all know the major subjects like math, science, and environmental studies that we do have in our school days. So it's good to know what is a squared plus b squared is a squared minus b squared, but we also need to know about the honesty and the ethics in life, even more important. So I believe those subjects needs to be more added in a major subjects as well, not just in maths and science, but morals.
Beautifully said. Thank you for that. And now coming to Mr. Thavaseelan, I want to know what are the awareness programs conducted across the state under Mukh Bharat Abhiyan?
So Nashamukh Bharat Abhiyan is under the social welfare department. So the district administration is sort of anchoring it at the district level. Awareness programs in various educational institutions. It could be schools, it could be colleges, and various sensitization programs. And also they also work with these organizations which work in this field, especially with regards to rehabilitation, and create a lot of impact, because it's extremely important that you catch the kids young. So, and prevention is the best form of prevention is better than cure.
Right.
So you ensure that they don't get into the spiral, so that it becomes their life becomes better over a period of time. So that's what's being done. So different districts are taking up different programs. They also work with the civil societies, they work with the churches in order to ensure that this message reaches the masses.
Mr. Yanthan, if you would like to add anything on that.
I think Sir has explained very lucidly that question.
Indeed.
Having said to that, I would also love to add, all those campaigns that we have went in different places. We took a pledge under Nashamukh Bharat Abhiyan as well.
Right.
So we took a pledge that we will take all efforts in our capability to make India drug. That it was a part of our campaign.
Right. So how successful were those programs? Also, what were the response?
Like before I've said, social media was my primary role when I was going for all those campaigns. So after those campaigns, getting messages from the students saying they are so thankful, they have learned so much from the campaign, I feel good. And by the time at the end we get to see the students with the hearts in mind, not only to be mindful but also to spread the awareness to the neighborhood, I believe it was such a productive one. And I do believe we can continue with such projects if given an opportunity.
Right. So has there been any case of students being under the influence of drugs in the educational institutions?
While I was crowned as Miss Nagaland, this certain topic as substance abuse has been my concern. But my concern has gone even more deeper just last year when I met some of my few friends with their they used to stay in a few corners of districts in Nagaland. Having said that, they used to share how their students are dependent on such drugs, so-called as sunflowers, and also I do know, of course, there are so many colleges and students who are under substitution therapy, or while many have been medically treated as well.
Alright, so listeners, we are on the topic education in relation to drug medication. Though definitely we will continue the discussion, but it's time for a short break. And so we are going to listen to a song by the 15IR Mahila Band. The song is titled No to Drugs. So stay tuned because we will be right back with its discussion after this.
Together.
And welcome back, my dear listeners. This is Akashvani Kohima here with a series of episodes. This is the 7th episode in our series In Focus. So you stay tuned. We are talking on the topic education in relation to drug medication. So let's continue with the discussion here. And a reminder that our AIR SMS gateway is open. You can reach here with your feedback, your queries to the number 943-680-5333. The code is FM space F. You can also dial in the number 0370-224-3036 and talk directly with the experts who are here in the studio. So continuing with the discussion here, I would like to know, has there been any case of students what are the penalties or punishment for drug offenders caught inside the premise or within the vicinity of educational institution? Have there been any such cases reported in the state? Let's start with Mr. Yanthan here.
Of India has enacted one act called NDPS Act 1985. So this full form is Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act. So it prohibits the manufacture, possession, and consumption of narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. So these narcotic drugs, we can easily say ganja, opium, and common ones are sunflower drugs. So the penalties are very stringent, and it can even extend up to 20 years. And on second conviction, even death penalty is also there. And regarding the second part of the question, yes, there we have during my time as OC of the police station, we have also got many students under the consuming these drugs. So under this NDPS Act, even consumption is illegal. So not only sellers, even the ones who is consuming even some few grams can be booked under this NDPS Act. So the Act is very stringent.
So I think the school heads, in consultation with the disciplinary committee as well as the SMCs and SMDCs, decide on the punishment to be meted out. So in most cases they counsel, and in case they keep repeating it, then they're likely to be suspended from the schools. As kids who consuming drugs or suspended or in cases even given TC from the school. So that's what it is, and the NDPS has very clear guidelines on what is to be done for repeat offenders. So what's from legal standpoint, what is to be done. So yeah.
Right. So what are the measures taken to avoid the prevalence of drug abuse within the educational institution?
So all the educational institutions, all the schools are declared as tobacco-free zones. Notifications have been issued both by the school education department and also by the health and family welfare department. So each school, there's a nodal officer who's supposed to prevent the prevalence or use of tobacco within the school or in its vicinities, a sale of tobacco and other related products. So these nodal officers also double up and check on whether there's a drug usage within the school among the students. So they're supposed to conduct surprise inspections from time to time, and there's something that keeps happening in different schools. So that's one, but there's a larger thing that we'll have to look at. Drug abuse and this problem is much bigger than what can be done by a single institution or a single department. It has to be a multi-pronged effort in terms of everybody has to come together. The parents, the community, the teachers, the students themselves. It has to be a multi-pronged effort in order to ensure that rein back the menace of drug abuse. It's not going to be just one department or one organization coming in and stopping it. Yeah.
Okay, I would like to add something on what Sarah has said. There is an act called COTP Act, Cigarette and Other Tobacco Products Act. So under that act, selling of this tobacco products is prohibited within 100-meter radius of any educational institutions. So for this purpose, the police stations they regularly conduct the surprise checking on the shops, and if they are found selling any tobacco products, they are penalized rupees 200 for the first time, and subsequently they are punished again if they are found. And stringent ones are, if they repeat again, their license may also get cancelled.
As you are saying about punishments, can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
So on first time, if we get these shopkeepers selling these tobacco products, fine is rupees 200, and subsequently even license may be cancelled.
Okay, and is there some imprisonment as well? Or?
I think, as far as I know, the imprisonment, though, I don't think it's there.
Right. And the educational institution being the center of educating the young minds, how often do you sensitize the students regarding the harmfulness of drug use?
So the school heads, they keep conducting sensitization programs at their level and in association with certain agencies which work in this field. They keep taking it up at different intervals in the schools in order to ensure that the kids are aware of the harmful effects of drug use. So that keeps happening on a regular basis.
Okay.
And teachers at their level in the schools, in the classrooms, they do keep talking about it. So it's not like formally slotted into the school calendar, but then there's something that keeps happening at regular intervals.
All right, so we have a couple of messages coming in with their questions. So let's now check the messages. Let's take some of the messages here. So the first one here has a question that reads, what is the school education department doing? Are all the school well equipped to counter drug menace? Do you think the department is doing enough? So I think Mr. Thavaseelan, you should take this question.
I think the department can always do more, and that's something that we're trying to do. I mean, we're now trying to come up with a collaboration with the police department in order to come up with a very structured response to this drug abuse menace. But then when it comes to, so like was clarified earlier, all educational institutions have been declared as tobacco-free zones. By extension, they're also drug-free zones. So the teachers are encouraged to conduct surprise inspections from time to time. And then if someone's found in possession of these drugs, they're supposed to counsel them and their parents. But then this will have to be a much, much broader effort, and it's just not the department's, the department alone cannot sort of successfully tackle it.
I think for this purpose a multi-pronged effort is needed involving the school education department, police department, even health and family welfare department. I believe that even de-addiction centers should come up, should be set up in every nook and corner of the state. Right now I feel that de-addiction centers are very less in Nagaland.
All right, the listener who have asked the question, I hope you got the answer right there. We also have another message here which reads, what are the remedial practices to reorient those teachers, those who are into drugs? Is that not a posing threat for the students?
It absolutely is a threat for students, and we have those cases which are brought to our notice. We do take disciplinary action against those teachers. So I mean, if I have to sort of expand it a bit, there are several government departments where this problem is there. So each department is taking its own set of actions when it comes to people who abuse drugs and are not able to perform their duties properly. And unfortunately, there could be some teachers who do abuse drugs and are not able to discharge their duties effectively. And as and when this is brought to our notice, we immediately take disciplinary action on them.
So the law is same for everyone. So even if they are teachers, also if they are caught with these illegal drugs, which is defined under NTPS Act, they will be surely put under this NTPS Act and punished accordingly.
Right. So listeners, you can keep sending in your queries, your feedback, because we still have 30 minutes to go. So continuing with our discussion, do you think that compulsory appointments of counselors are a necessity in schools?
I think absolutely, but in our state we do have a shortage of qualified counselors, so it would take time, but this would be very essential because kids, counseling them and letting them know, because someone has to keep talking to them from time to time. It's not something that's just a one-time thing and then the kids don't get into drugs. It has to be a continuous thing, so counselors' presence is extremely critical.
Right, a big yes from me as well. Because in some institutions, full-time counselors are there to help the students. So those needs to be practiced in all other institutions as well, from the primary level to all the colleges, I believe. Because apart from sanitizing the students on drug use, even counselors addressing the mental health issues is very important. Because so common mental health, depression, anxiety are some of the reasons that leads to addiction.
Right. So again, I would like to know your opinion, Hikali. In the school textbooks and syllabus, are there any chapters where drug-related issues are discussed? If so, are the students able to, take the concept mentioned in the textbooks?
Being a student, I haven't come across such drug-related issues. We do know there are different types of drugs. So we know as medicine, these legal drugs and illegal drugs. So we do know about certain drugs which are legal, and we do take it often as prescribed medicines. However, what if we are talking about this drug abuse and all people? I think it needs to be more refined education regarding this very topic.
Right, we would like to hear from Mr. Thavaseelan.
So there is some information that's available in different classes. It's not on all the classes, but there's some information. But like Ms. Hikali said, there's a lot more that can be done in terms of educating kids about this. But then again, I mean, the whole idea is just bookish knowledge or just reading it in the textbook is not going to help. But it has to be something that they keep hearing about from time to time. That's going to have a far greater effect than just reading it from the textbook once a while. The fact that, I mean, at home, amongst their friends, in the school, in the college, if this message keeps getting repeated, then it becomes ingrained in them that, it's always better to not get into the habit of drug abuse and then, consuming drugs, so that, because coming out of it, it's not going to be easy. You'll have to spend a lot more effort. You'll be much better off not getting into the habit rather than getting yourself out after getting into it.
I think at the moment the students are overburdened with different subjects in school. So I believe that role play will help in tackling this menace.
Right, as we're talking about school textbooks and syllabus, so do you think that the present textbook or syllabus have significant moral and character building chapters, or is it the fault in the teaching system?
I think, given the constraints, the textbooks have been prepared in the best possible manner, but then there's always a scope for doing even more. So that's how I'd put it.
Like I have said before, I believe subjects or topics such as moral, ethics, and human values needs to be primarily focused on. That's what I believe, because as part of my life as a student, all those small subjects, thin line syllabus that I've learned so much from there, both for my professional and personal growth as well. So if those certain subjects are taken into from major subjects, I believe there's so much to learn.
I would also love to know from Mr. Yanthan if you can add your opinions as well.
Okay, so I think instead of blaming the education or teaching system, I think we have to understand the reality that we are situated very close to the Golden Triangle, and which is the major drug producing area. So Golden Triangle is the region between Myanmar, Thailand, and Laos. So 90% of the drugs are produced from here, and Nagaland is a transit hub for all these drugs. From Myanmar to go to Manipur, from Manipur to Nagaland, and from Nagaland to outer parts of India. So I think we have to look at a wider picture. So instead of just blaming the education system, I think some sort of demand reduction should also be done. And I believe that the problem has to be tackled at the international level also. Like there's something called United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. I think it publishes monthly reports also. So I think we have to study that one, and we have to see what we can do instead of just blaming on the education system at all.
So, Ms. Hikali, we did talk a little bit about the drug menace and the educational institution. You have said a little bit about it, but I would like to know that while you being a student, just completed your studies, do you think that the issue of drug menace is widely discussed in our educational institutions?
I feel that the schools and colleges are slowly getting the gravity of the situation by now, I would say, because it's getting the attention and concerns by the institutions for the moment. However, I believe more effective approach can be done to control or understand the widespread use among the students. So it's high time that the state urgently needs to do a research and take some appropriate actions. That's what I would say.
Okay, so my understanding is we talk about this drug abuse only on June 26 every year. That is the International Day against Drug Abuse and illicit trafficking. So I think we should put this in everyday use, and we should also tackle it like that only. Instead of just remembering one day and taking out all the statistics and talking about the prevalence of drug abuse in Nagaland.
Exactly. Anyway, listeners, let's go for a short break. After the break, we'll be back with more discussion on this particular topic. So this time we're going for a song titled Say Yes to Life. This is Tetseo Sisters.
Yeah, I know it's not easy, but I'll try saying yes. Yes to life and no to things that cut it short, my friend. Life is beautiful and it's a gift for you and me. Yeah, you should know life is worth it. Every time, every moment, I choose life. It's a happy choice. Say yes with me. I'm here for you. Say yes to love and no to drugs. It's the only way. There's no other way. There's no rewind. Yeah, I know. Sometimes people, they feel low, they need a hero. Falling into drawing deep and don't have pathway. No to drugs and no to anything that's a mistake. Yeah, you should know. Just say no, no. Just say no, no. Every day. Choice is yours. I choose life. It's a happy choice. Say yes with me. I'm here for you. Say yes to love and no to drugs. It's the only way. There's no other way. There's no rewind. Giving up, say no to drugs. Come on! I choose life. It's a happy choice. Say yes with me. I'm here for you. Let's choose life. It's a happy choice. Say yes with us. We're here for you. Say yes to love and no to drugs. It's the only way. There's no other way. There's no rewind.
Welcome back, my dear listeners. With just 20 minutes to go, I will now jump into our discussion by taking this question sent to us by a listener. So this one says, do you have any policy in mind to be implemented in schools to inhibit students from falling prey to addictions? So I think the three of you can take turns to answer to our listener here.
Sure, I think one part of it is creating awareness, and that's something that our teachers keep doing, and the school heads keep organizing sessions from time to time about the harmful effects of consuming drugs. So that's one part. The other would be the surprise checks, and teachers, having kids in their class. If they're noticing someone's behaving differently or strangely, then they'd be able to figure out that there could be something wrong with the kid, and then they try and figure out what exactly is causing it. And the surprise inspections from time to time also sort of, helps this. But then again, it has to be much more comprehensive effort that's all encompassing. I mean, what happens at home, what happens amongst their friends, all that's even more critical. So it'll have to be a multi-pronged effort, and the school alone, taking steps at the school alone will simply not be enough. It's going to be important, but then it's not going to be enough.
Okay. So I would like to add something on that, and I'll reply this in Nakamis. Okay. So this drug abuse or substance abuse is a social problem. It is a social problem. It's only policy act can like it was solve corona parvo. We need more action from the society. It's only like civil society organizations have to play a major role in this regard. Like a step in this regard, it is like for instance, colony the drug peddlers can take as so we have to report this to police. So like in a small action can grow like no if we wait for just policy or act from the government, then I think it will not solve, because basically drug abuse is a social problem. Like it was this article drug abuse problem though the resurgence was earlier 1990s fale though injectable drug users can be thakise it has a drug abuse can it is change it is sniffing it is sunflower gina it was though it one it is social issue ola say only act policy here to know, but only I feel that civil society organizations should also play a major role in supplementing the fight against drugs.
Both our shares have already rightly pinpointed the points. So, last point which I would love to add is if we talk about schools, in schools we have groups like NSS, NCC, and so on. So I believe peer pressure can be very helpful.
Tinjin bi man bal points di dia ushi to next January month together areas kiki there more works are need to be done that is particularly in our educational system in order to prevent this drug menace.
So I think the point more and more awareness for the teachers themselves and the kids. Because the teachers themselves need to know much more about what's happening currently. Dr. Yanthan ko anisna agete to there was different types of drugs. The current types of drugs are different. So they themselves need to upgrade their knowledge about what's happening currently. So that's one part. Second is parent-teacher meetings. The parents also have to be sensitized from time to time about, to keep a check on their kids, the kind of people that they get involved with. That's going to be extremely crucial, because in a day about 8 hours they spend in school, but beyond that what happens is something that will be outside the purview of the school per se. Itu alawa amekan appointment of counselors amekan agete kota kuran people who are just focused on this, just helping them time to time. So although broadly amekan size this drug problem is a problem of there's supply and then there's demand. So we'll have to attack both sides. Demand side that's when we talking about the users per se. So sensitizing them and keeping a check and having a lot more. There's one other point that I want to touch upon. Dr. Yanthan had spoken about it earlier. We don't have enough rehabilitation centers in our state. There's a lot more that needs to be done. The Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment talks about different kinds of setups at the district level. Apart from this opioid substitution therapy, there's several others that can be set up at the district level to where those who are users can come and get themselves rehabilitated. So a lot has to be done that way. So the best solution is not getting into the habit, but then if you get into the habit, how do you gradually wean them away? So that a lot of organizations are working on it in different districts, but then there's a lot more that needs to be done in this regard. So that's on the demand side. Supply side, the police is already doing a lot in terms of trying to catch hold of those who are the drug mafia, the drug kingpins, getting hold of them, figuring out supply routes, and then stopping it. So I mean, a few days back there was a seizure in Dimapur. About 62 crores worth of drugs was seized. So it has to be both simultaneously. You'll have to hit the supply side, curb the supply, and curb the demand, suppress the demand. So that's how we can tackle it effectively. And it's going to take a lot of time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight.
Okay, so into schools and colleges there awareness campaign gurado I think it should be led by the medical department, no? So why? Because the present drugs which the students are abusing, it is mostly the sunflower drugs, so it has a very high addictive potential. So like ekta duita drug users can get thurile takan ke hotile so takan ko 2 bar 3 bar nega sniff koriche gore takan addict hoy jay gore aro etu addiction to it's so strong that it is thief BBC like it since they're so desperate they will have to take the drugs by any means. It only tahan itu drug problem do social problem ani hocha se. It only I feel that awareness campaign lo them the medical department can be involved korina takan tik se college te chaina takan ke koi dole like itu to era activity potential pretty high ase aro itu apni khan itu na parile chharibo mun chaile apni ko te chabo lage ki khabo lage substitute can be hobo lage ni and like that. So I feel that medical department should also play a very big role in this regard.
It is a disease. Addiction is also a disease which can be cured by treatment, by a proper treatment. So, not expelling students from school, I believe that cannot be held because it needs treatment, right? So, I believe addiction, we should understand, the society as a whole should understand that it can be treated like any other chronic disease like asthma or diabetes.
Apne an man bawa ku di shiman la educational system la bitor de kina itu drug menace to prevent corona parola pore. And also can you suggest or give your opinions man the students can, young students can as well as youths can out there on how can they prevent this drug menace?
So I think at one level it's just knowing the harmful effects of it and how it can affect your life. That's one level. And the other thing is choosing your friends wisely. If you see some of your friends who are abusing drugs, then you should know that you should stay away from this person because it's only you're likely to get into the habit yourself rather than get the other person out. I mean, you can try and I mean, it definitely helps if you help the other person to come out, but then you shouldn't get into it. So choose your friends wisely and just be aware of what all problems it can cause and how it can affect your life.
As a student, we all need to set goals, big or small, however it may be. We need to set goals. So, setting goals and living a purposeful life, maintaining motivation. I believe if we are trying to live our life a purposeful way, it is a sure way that we can avoid substance abuses.
Okay, so it's like this. Home is the first school of the child. A happy home is very important for a child upbringing. Like most of the drug addicts, they come from these broken families. I think parenting style also should change. Mostly authoritarian parenting. I think we should change to democratic parenting. Or it can all of understanding the world.
Right. Alright, so 10 minute bachina se mohon lahate aro yede ekta message ahina se mohon listener ekta ba likhi diya hoise to yes, it goes like this. Education is so vital for human society. Nagaland education system in Nagaland appears to be solely exam oriented by rote memory. Can we move towards more on helping to imagine and think like the system outside the state? So what's your opinion on
Actually, I think that's something that's already happening. So the NBSC and SCRT are moving towards competency-based assessments. It's something that's currently in the works. Rote memory, I mean, it was not something that was only symptomatic of our state, but then this was something prevalent in different parts of the country. So the National Education Policy talks about a very clear movement from just testing kids on how well they can remember things to competency-based assessments. So there's something that's already happening, and in the days and years to come, you would see a perceptible change in the way kids are being tested.
Right. With 10 minutes to go, let's wrap this up with last thought from each of you. So, would you like to give a message to the teachers, the parents, guardians, teachers, and the public in general across the state before we wrap it up? Any last messages?
So I think, if you're looking at the teachers and parents, just keep an eye out for kids if they are sort of exhibiting certain kinds of behavior, and if you see something that's away from the normal, then please figure out what exactly is happening with the kid. Because in a lot of cases, when the kid is not receiving enough attention, is when they actually get into situations like this. So that and it's also important to treat them with a lot of compassion and love. Because ultimately that's what every kid longs for. I mean, if there are problems at home, if the teachers behave in a very rude manner with the kids, or there's this compassion, lack of empathy or compassion, it's likely to drive kids towards a certain type of behavior even more. The same goes for guardians. Please provide them a loving environment, a caring environment. That's going to be far more important than anything else that you do in helping them becoming people of importance in the future. And students, again, like Ms. Hikali said, have a purpose in your life, focus on what you want to do and work towards it, and keep the distractions away. That's what it's.
Beautifully said. What about you, Miss Hikali? Any last word?
Seek help. That's what I would say, seek help. But beyond seeking help for ourselves, we hold the power to advocate for change. So let's empower each other to advocate for change, to change for our choices and support those struggling around us. By standing together, we can amplify awareness, dismantle stigmas, and create a culture where seeking help is encouraged and respected. So let's spread the awareness, spread the word, and save lives.
Right, and coming to you, Mr. Yanthan, any last word?
So I would like to give a message as a doctor. So treat drug abuse as patients and not as criminals. And as a police officer, I would just say report drug peddlers and drug abuse to the recently launched Made in Nagaland app. And lastly, to the civil society organizations also, they have a very vital role to play, and law enforcement agencies cannot alone tackle this problem. So my message is this.
Well, listeners, takan man bawa last message man stop the dia wishe. I hope you had a great time listening to it, Arabishi Shikeshula, because I got to learn a lot from them this afternoon. And that's all we have in this series of episode titled In Focus, a live interactive program on a drug-free Nagaland, brought to you by the regional news unit Akashvani Kohima in collaboration with Nagaland Police Department. You can also stay connected with us at Akashvani FM channel 103 MHz, as well as medium wave 639 kHz. And we also have our YouTube channel Akashvani Kohima program, where we live stream our programs, as well as the app News on Air app, which you can install and stay tuned with us. So join with us again next Monday. That will be same time, same channel. And taking your leave for the day, this has been your host Kenny, and also I would like to thank our guest for this afternoon, Mr. Thavaseelan K, Principal Director, School Education Department. Thank you, sir, for joining us this afternoon. And we also have Dr. L. Nongothung Yanthan, Deputy Superintendent of Police. Thank you so much, sir, for making the time and coming to the studio. And of course, the beautiful Miss Hikali Achumi, Miss Nagaland 2022. It was a pleasure having you in our studio. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. And this is Akashvani Kohima, and have a pleasant day ahead.